Hey guys, it's your humble host, or Kale if you prefer, so I'm back with another video. Facebook has shadow banned my page, or as they like to put it, put restrictions on it because I quote unquote have been spreading misinformation. As you guys have noticed, I've become more and more vocal about what's been going on, in particular to certain things. So I'm at this point where I'm not a big person. You guys know I don't portray myself that way. I'm really nobody. I mean, I could disappear off of social media, YouTube, and all that, and really don't think too many people give a damn, which is fine. Again, I'm not a nobody. But at the same time, this has been a growing issue with a lot of people who are speaking out about what is going on, whether it's stemming from the riots, COVID, the LGBT agenda, to what's going on in Congress, to people getting Me Too'd. So it is a growing problem, and to think that Facebook, Zuckerberg, thinks he's an arbiter of what is and what is not considered misinformation is a joke. Considering just how much information they pull or certain ads done by certain people they pull because they want to keep pushing a narrative. They're part of that little group. Twitter, YouTube, all of them. All of them. So, with that being said, is my page is in the description below. They're trying to silence people who are speaking truth. And I'm not going to say, oh, I'm the most truthful person. No, I'm not even going to make that argument. But the fact that I have been chokehold now because my views are shut down, I don't make a whole lot of money from my page. I don't really pay for boost. I started to, and then the ads just started to get flat out rejected. I'm just like, okay, you know what, screw this. But as I said, the fact that I've gotten chokehold tells me that I have wrestled a few jimmies. There's a history of certain stuff getting removed, and that's when people were striking my page in regards to like the Save James Younger stuff. I had a notification back in November, late November, saying, oh, hey, is this you? Because there's a lot of spam being posted on this page, and it had to do with the trans cult preying on children and things like that. So now, because I've been watching in regards to what's going on, like the riots, police officers getting busted for being undercover, people wanting to disband the police departments overall, from pallets of bricks being found, to what the House is doing, to what Supreme Court just did. What else? The fact that the Equality Act was just blocked, and there's a lot of people now who are waking up to what's really going on. For that, I'm glad for. A lot of people have had that revelation going, this is not okay, and it's going to get worse. And as I have stated on this channel before, is how I do believe God, and I want to get back to that space. I was talking with someone on Twitter, someone who I know is very much younger than I am, and responded to a tweet I had posted about the Equality Act getting blocked. For those of you who are not aware, the Supreme Court just ruled that sexual orientation and gender identity now qualify into the definition of sex. It's freaking insane. So not only have you legitimized lunacy and made it legal, you have okayed the erasure of what it means to be a real man and a real woman. Not gonna stand by. A lot of us are not gonna stand by. We are going to fight back. So a lot of us are starting to get vocal. I'm not violent. I'm not hostile. I don't hate people, but no, was it this person called me vile, and I just like, I'm not even gonna argue with you. I just, because not because I know it all. No, I'm still learning. I am willing to grow and actually reflect on things, and it can be hard. Could be humbling and challenging because you make yourself vulnerable at that point. But and I've touched upon this so many times, whether it's in my interview with Jeff Younger, Brenton Nets, on stream, Facebook posts, whatever, is the more I come to understand, the more that I am understanding, like in regards to what God's design is, men, women, marriage. I was talking to someone else on Facebook about it because they had posted something. You now have an idea going around because of all these nasty custody battles that men shouldn't get married. They've been screaming at this about this to women too. Oh well, marriage is bad. Da 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 da. Just like no, no. It's and from my standpoint, some people argue, well, men shouldn't get married because of what the state has done to marriage. Okay, that's I can understand that being a fear, but no, that's not even healthy either. That is not healthy. And that's not me shitting on anybody who's been talking about that, but that no, no, just all kinds of no. Men and women are supposed to be together. That is how the nuclear family stands. Healthy one, mind you. And then when you have a healthy nuclear family, you have healthy children. And when you have healthy children, you go on to have a healthy society. As we've seen, a lack of lack of nuclear family does broken society. It's easy for people to come in and control them. How do you think communism and socialism came about? I'm not kidding. If you guys look at the Communist Manifesto, because you have people pushing Marxism, you have people pushing socialism. One of the very first things that they talk about is dismantling the nuclear family, is the children being raised by the government or the quote unquote villages of the community. No, so I have been getting vocal about various things because it's become a passion of mine and because of what I've come to learn through my own struggles from watching what has been going on, from watching other people and their struggles. I've just begun to understand the tip of the iceberg and I want to understand more. I will never, ever fight for, condone, promote, stand with, rally behind anything that goes against God's design. Ever. Especially after what I have been shown, what I'm still being shown in regards to my own family that I grew up with. Hell no. So I'm getting emotional because I'm getting angry of what I am seeing happen to where, oh, well, manhood, according to what the Supreme Court just did, oh, manhood doesn't matter. Womanhood doesn't matter. What it means to be a woman doesn't matter. What it means to be a man doesn't matter. What it means to be a mother doesn't matter. What it means to be a father doesn't matter. That's pretty much what happened. Because I do know was it the expansion of the Equality Act, that's public housing, jobs, and all that, you do realize that there are spaces only for real men. There's only spaces for real women. I'm going to touch upon a situation. I've used this as a reference as well as to what the trans cult likes to do. You guys remember me talking about the Vancouver Rape Relief Center in Canada, how they got their funding pulled by Morgan Ogre, Jonathan Yanive's mentor, no less. And Ogre is a man trying to be a woman, and he's now a trans activist. He went after this center because they turned away a biological man, and they didn't just, oh no, you're a man, get out of here. They drove him to the hospital, made sure he was okay, but like, no, this is a woman's only space for rape survivors, sexual abuse victims/survivors, for domestic abuse victims. They go after rape survivors. They go after victims. They go after our children. They go after families. This is what makes me so angry, and this is just a perfect example as to why this insanity needs to be stopped. Now, it will get worse. It will. The Bible talks about this, how people become haughty. A lot of people are blinded. A lot of people that try to knock heads with me argue with nothing but emotion. It's, oh, well, there's nothing about love is love. No, you don't realize what you're saying. You don't have any foresight. And this is not me acting like I know it all, and I don't know everything. I'm still learning. I'm still willing to learn. But because I'm willing to learn, even with stuff I am not educated in, even with stuff that I can't fully grasp, I can still have a basic understanding. Whether that's through epiphanies and looking up, going, oh, hey, is this actually a thing? Oh my gosh, yes, it is. Like, I'll give you an example. Me and my husband were talking about it, and I don't want to drag this out too long, is the talk of chromosomes and hormone imbalances came up. And I was thinking about it the other day because the term intersex was being thrown around, and it's been thrown around how it's a third gender. It's not a freaking third gender. It is someone who's male or female that has mutations because of chromosome, I don't want to say deficiencies or mutations. I'm trying to word that correctly. Abnormal chromosomes, which leads to hormone imbalances. So, and I had an epiphany. It's just like, well, is that actually a thing? And I looked it up. There's a freaking study on it of what it does to women and how it can lead to one of the conditions of infertility. This was a study done just for women, so that makes me think, what will that do to men? Like, I'll freaking show you. Actually, I still have it up. Let me see if you guys can see this properly. Chromosomal abnormalities, I can't pronounce that right now, and hormonal imbalance in patients with amenorrhea and Talamanandu. So there are studies to this, and I had an epiphany because I was thinking about the other day, like, is this such a thing? Do the chromosomes, can they affect the way that the hormones are balanced? As people are born with different hormone balances, but they're still either male or female, doesn't matter what mutations or extra chromosomes they have, they're still male or female. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is actually a thing. So that's what I'm talking about. And I get stuff not like that too often, but it's because I'm looking, I'm wanting to grow, I'm wanting to change, I'm wanting to better understand my role as a woman of God. I'm wanting to understand what is going on. And so just that small little epiphany, it's just like, wow, that's wow. So that kind of helps me understand a lot of the arguments better. Anyway, my whole point of this video is, again, just to show that I am being censored, but the truth is out there. And to point out is what I'm not willing to do anymore is argue with people. Not because, oh, well, you're not worth my time, but because depending on how the argument goes, and with this particular person, no, I will not name them because I don't want, people to go bother them. But with this particular person, you can tell they argue with more emotion than they do logic. Like when we start to get a little bit biblical, I'm like, I'm not doing this with you. We've done this multiple times. You don't listen. You don't want to actually look at stuff. They picked out 2 verses just and threw them at me, and I went to go look. I'm like, no, you don't understand what you're. And I'm not saying I have a full understanding of the Bible, but I have gone and looked and learned to understand. When I have those arguments, I am willing to understand. There's still a lot of stuff that's kind of over my head because I haven't taken the time to fully study or haven't had revelations and, spent that time with God. But at the same time, it's just like I'm not willing to argue with people who I can look at, depending on their responses, go, not trying to be mean, but I'm not going to argue with you. You're not going to listen no matter what I tell you and willing to look at stuff. Because when you are really willing to look at stuff, it's going to bring up stuff of your own, whether that's trauma, faults, insecurities, way that you believe things, way that you've coped with things. So, and I have taken time to look at things, and I'm not going to say I'm perfect at it. No, I'm not. You guys know I'm not. But it's just like I'm not willing to argue with people anymore that don't want to actually look and they just want to argue with their feelings and nothing more. So hopefully I said that in a nice way. I'm not trying to offend, but I'm not going to do it anymore. Just like, have a good day. I'll see you around, and take a breath and try again another day. Anyway, though, if you guys can pass my page around, that would be great. I'm still keeping up with Save James and Save Miles. We just had an update to Save Miles Gort's case. For those of you who haven't watched it yet, the joint custody and conservatorship is still intact for Brett and Netz. There's supposed to be another hearing in the next few weeks. From what Breton has told me about this new judge, is he seems to be more level-headed. The one that was over his case prior has long since retired, thank God. So he doesn't have that same kooky judge. But yeah, really pay attention to what's going on and don't look past the screaming, look past the emotions, because that's how they're manipulating people, is solely through their emotions. There's a lot of people who are not looking at things logically and with common sense. Now, there are still some that are, but not everyone is. And it's hard not to get wrapped up in the emotions because you see a lot of just nasty shit going on now, whether it's from the riots, from COVID. You have the media painting things a certain way. You have a bunch of people screaming, oh, well, you're hateful if you don't agree with this or that. So, no, learn to look past the screaming, learn to look past all this, just, I guess, over emotion, just over amount of emotion, I guess is the best way I can say that. Without further ado, if I do happen to get my social media struck, I don't know. Here's the thing, with the way that things are going, I mean, because eventually it is probably going to come to one day to where everything I have is taken out. Just poof, gone. As I've told people, YouTube, Facebook, all that, it's temporary. It's not permanent. People try to act like it's their official ivory tower. No. No, 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 no. I don't. I've seen big channels just get taken out, struck, and not restored. So I mean, the day that that happens, I don't think, depending on the circumstances, if I were to disappear like that, I don't think I'd come back the same way. I don't know. I don't know. I've already had my Twitter struck with copyright that has to do with a whole different situation. It's cowardly. It really is. It's a situation that this person created. And then I had stepped in digging into it, and another party was involved, but sat on a post, kept it private. And then when the damage was already done, by me going off the information that was available, they put this post as public. So that was kind of shitty on their part, but it's, this particular community is very petty and likes to try to cancel each other and go after each other. So one of those. So yeah. But anyway, without further ado, this is at 17 minutes. I will see you guys in the next one. And again, if there's like any more updates in regards to Save Miles. I know my last video was Trump doing away with the trans protections, aka Obama's overreach. I don't know how that's going to correlate or how that's going to go into effect, seeing how now what the Supreme Court just did, which, as I said before, they added sexual orientation and gender identity to the definition of sex, which is complete and utter trash. It's lunacy, and now there's many people coming out saying, hey, this undermines the law, because it does. The Supreme Court cannot define reality. I don't care what station of power you are in. No. There's going to be a big backlash. It was a Trump-appointed justice. Just because someone appoints a justice does not mean that they're going to officially side with the appointer, because a lot of people are blaming Trump for this, but as another article stated, is past presidents have used the Supreme Court as more of like an extension of their will. The Supreme Court, in technical terms, is an independent institution, if that is the proper word to use. So I don't quite understand, because it seems as though this particular justice, it starts with a G, is a weird last name, is a mixed bag. And he also, I guess, made sure that DACA stayed. If you guys don't know what that is, that's the Dreamers. That's people who came here illegally, had children, here, and now they can't be deported. There's more to that. There's a lot of nuances and ambiguity and things like that there. So that's another mixed bag of spaghetti. But anyway, that's just an example. So, but without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one, and hopefully you guys have a good night.